All right. So this is the first video in a series of videos where I'm going to be talking about some important philosophical texts from the perspective of logic-based therapy. My name is Yarmel, and if you're interested in having a logic-based therapy consulting session with me, head over to philosophycc.com and you can sign up. So one thing that people often do that makes them miserable is they engage in a form of irrational reasoning called demanding perfection. When people are engaging in demanding perfection, what they're thinking is the world must conform or nearly conform to the state of perfection. Nothing bad must ever happen to me. My projects must succeed. Nothing bad must ever happen to any of the people who I care about. My loved ones must never die. People engage in this kind of irrational demanding perfection reasoning, and it makes them miserable. And one thing we can do in logic-based therapy consulting is help people identify these kinds of reasoning and replace them with antidotes drawn from the philosophical literature. So what I'm going to be talking about today is a book called The Enchiridion by Epictetus. So Epictetus was from 50 to 135 AD, and I'm going to be looking at just the first chapter. So I'm going to read it, and then after I read it, we're going to be talking about some ways that we can actually make some progress away from demanding perfection using the tools contained in the Enchiridion. All right. So, chapter 1. So the first paragraph of chapter 1 goes like this: some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever are our own actions. Things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in one word, whatever are not our own actions. The things in our control are by nature free, unrestrained, unhindered. But those not in our control are weak, slavish, restrained, belonging to others. Remember then that if you suppose that things which are slavish by nature are also free, and that what belongs to others is your own, then you will be hindered, you will lament, you will be disturbed, and you will find fault both with gods and men. But if you suppose that only to be your own which is your own, and what belongs to others such as it really is, then no one will ever compel you or restrain you. Further, you will find fault with no one or accuse no one. You will do nothing against your will. No one will hurt you. You will have no enemies, and you will not be harmed. Aiming therefore at great things, remember that you must not allow yourself to be carried even with a slight tendency towards the attainment of lesser things. Instead, you must entirely quit some things, and for the present postpone the rest. But if you would both have these great things, along with power and riches, then you will not gain even the latter, because you aim at the former too, but you will absolutely fail of the former, by which alone happiness and freedom are achieved. Work, therefore, to be able to say to every harsh appearance, you are but an appearance, and not absolutely the thing you appear to be. And then examine it by those rules which you have, and first, and chiefly by this: whether it concerns the things which are in our own control, or those which are not. And if it concerns anything not in our control, be prepared to say that it is nothing to you. All right, so there's a lot of really good wisdom contained in just that section from the Enchiridion. Main idea is this: it's that there's some things in life that you have control over. There's other things in life that you do not have control over. You have control over whether you pursue going to the gym to work out, but you don't have control over what your body looks like. On the way to the gym, you might get hit by a car. You might contract some deadly disease that could affect the way that your body looks, right? And you don't even really have full control over the way that your body responds to the training, right? So while you do have control of your pursuit, the things that you pursue, you don't have control over whether you actually accomplish those goals. You have control over your attitudes. You can actually, and logic-based therapy consulting can help you gain greater control over this. You have control over your attitudes. You can actually affect and change your attitudes, but you don't have control over your property. Like, somebody could take your property. Your property could break. You could lose property in a lawsuit. Like, whether, like, the condition of your property, even though you can do some things to affect your property, you can behave prudently or imprudently towards your property. You never have complete control over it. And so if what you're demanding is, perfect control of your property, that's something that is always going to be frustrated, and so on. And so what Epictetus tells us to do is to, think really carefully about which things you have control over, which things you don't have control over. The things you do have control over are the things that you should be calling your own, and the things that you should be thinking like, okay, yeah, I want to spend time working on improving those things. I want to spend time, trying to live a life where I accomplish those things, trying to live a life where I accomplish pursuing the goals that are valuable to me. But with the things that you don't have control over, you shouldn't be thinking like, I must control them, because you absolutely can't. And what Epictetus says is like, you live a life where you try to control things you have control over, and you don't try to control things that you don't have control over. You're going to be a lot happier. You're going to have a lot fewer grudges, and you're just going to live a much more successful life. All right. So that was a quick little antidote to the irrational thing that we do when we're engaging in demanding perfection. I hope this was helpful. Leave me a comment or don't. I don't really care, and I don't have control over that. And I'm going to be making more videos in the future. All right. Hope you have a great day.